I worked, one of my longest jobs was at Subway, mainly because it was 5 minutes away from my house. So I would work there on and off throughout the years. And it's like, this was like 2002. I mean, sorry, 2022. And I, oh dear. Yeah, and the last time I left, because I would job hop a lot. But yeah, the last time I left, it wasn't the best. So, but I had to get my W-2s from Subway. And so I got my ass up and decided to go there. And so I asked the one worker at the time, like, hey, is the owner here? Because I need to get my W-2s. And she's like, wait, you didn't know? And I'm like, no, what? And she's like, he died. Like, okay. Um, that was kind of crazy. But I don't know. I will say that one hurt the most, or I guess was the most shocking, because I loved him. Really did. It's like I really saw him as a dad. But what his death taught me was that God sees things that I can't see. And it's like, even though I had so much affection and affinity for him, he absolutely did not have the same for me. And it's kind of like behind closed doors, the way he would see me and talk to me or talk about me, it wasn't okay with God. Um, like, just to give an example, like, I don't think exactly the same anymore because I had to learn. Not good. But I told him one day, like, I work for affection. Like, especially because he was like, it was a, it was his business. And he was, running it by himself practically. And like, I just really, really wanted to help him and help him succeed and, just be there for him. Oh my gosh. And like, seriously, like, I was at that point, I was so serious when I said I just work for affection, like, kind of like saying, like, if you just like let me know I'm doing a good job and be like nice, I will be here. I don't even care about getting paid for I'm not even playing. I know, like that, like I said, we fixed that. But but his reaction to that, he laughed at me. Um and like, that doesn't sound like all that. Like, okay, that was funny. But it was the way he laughed. And especially because my heart was completely open. And that hurt, and then let me know, like, he doesn't give a shit. Didn't see that at the time at all, but yeah. Or like when I became assistant manager, um, and yeah, and it was like my first day, especially I opened by myself. Um, yeah, he finally let me do that. And I just wanted to know, like, hey, like, I asked him, like, hey, is there anything I could have done? How'd I do? I just want to know, like, where I was. And he really goes and like says to like the guy, the other worker next to him, and said, like, look at this brown nose over here. And I'm just looking at him like, I just care and wanted to make sure I was doing a good job. And especially because there's always something you could do better, something you could improve on. I just wanted to know because I didn't want to do a mediocre job, and especially didn't know it. Um, but it was just really off putting by that reaction. I don't know. But especially because it was this one girl who worked there, um, who at the time, this is back in 2020, he agreed that she was not the best worker because she would be consistently late, making him have to stay and cover a shift until she got there or didn't. And he would always be upset, like saying like, "See, is she coming or not?" Like, and saying like, "Hey, like, if you're assigned a shift, you should find a way to get here. Like, not need to depend on somebody who's like, oh, someone didn't you were at. Like, that's not their problem." And that's the stuff he was saying. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. Um, but yeah, like I said, I job hop around. So I left in 2020 um, to go to the post office. Right. But ended up leaving the post office and came back to Subway. I don't know what happened in those 8 months, but he completely 180'd about her. Even though nothing's changed, she didn't change at all. And it was ridiculous because then he would say like, oh, well, no one, her family doesn't really give her rides or give her any help. So, like, what's she gonna do? It didn't even make any sense, the level of shift from what he said the year prior to then, because it's like, she's an adult. She needs to find a way to get there by herself. Like, if they, who cares? But I was just thinking, like, for me personally, like, yeah, my family didn't give me rides either. Like, my dad, yes, but my stepmom, my stepsister, fuck no. It was like, either do that or like make it worth my while, but like they wouldn't help. They wouldn't just be willing. No. And there was many times I walked to work. Shit. Walked 40 minutes to get to work. Yeah. So work caught the butt. Shit. It's like I do what I have to do, like regardless of who's there. That's why I was just so confused. And she, oh, okay. And even talked to the manager about that, and he's like, I don't know what happened either. I'm just like, okay. But it was crazy because I ended up working with her one night, and it was so traumatic. It's like, I don't know. She wouldn't do anything, which is like fine. I'm used to picking up the work myself, honestly, because people really didn't want to work. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But she was doing sketchy stuff, and like, gosh, and it's like I hated the confrontation, to be honest. I really did, because she would be like arguing with customers, and I would just try not to get involved. But eventually, I had to anyway, and she got upset about that, and then she was smoking in the back, and I hate the smell of weed. I really do. I really do. I hate it so much. And I was just sat in over there and was thinking like, I don't think I could like be here and continue working with her. And especially because like the owner normally gave her rides at night, but he wasn't there. So I was honestly terrified of her, like, trying to ask me for a ride. To the point I was like, man, I'll pay for her to get an Uber, but she ain't, no, absolutely not. Because I think, yeah, at that point I did drive. But it was so bad, like, to the point I called off the next day for the first time of all those years I've been in Subway. Like, it's like, if I really enjoy a place, I don't call off. I'm like, why? But yeah, I called off and didn't come in because I knew if I told him about that, he would make fun of me. And I wasn't emotionally like, okay to deal with that. So I go there the next day and tell him like that's why I called off. And he, like I thought, laughed, but then got upset when I told him I put my 2 weeks in. And he had said to me, especially because after I talked with him, and it's like, saw practically that he chose her over me, like, and I'm like, I'm not gonna keep working around her. I'm just not gonna subject myself to that. It was just really toxic, and no. And he got really upset and legit asked me, like, are you gonna keep quitting every time something or something? I don't remember exactly what he said, but then I thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, if the situation isn't good for me, like, I don't know, like, yeah. And he just got really upset about that. And I noticed that because, granted, I probably did overstep my boundaries at this point, but it was just a day. It was one day, like after my 2 weeks ended. The day after, I decided to go at Subway, make a lunch for myself, and so I went in the back and was going to pay for it and everything myself. But I thought my name was still in there, given it's only been a day. But I was no longer in the system, only after it being one day, which was weird because normally people haven't worked there in 5-10 years or still in the system. And I did think that was weird, but, and yeah, so like after he passed away, I realized, like, yeah. And especially because the manager told me, because it was around December when I left, like the beginning of December. Yeah, because the one coworker said, like, oh yeah, the one customers, they had a gift card to give you because it was Christmas time. But he's like, oh, but you didn't come back, so I spent it. Whatever, I guess. But yeah, the manager had told me that in December he got diagnosed with cancer. I don't even remember what kind it was, but he was a very heavy smoker. But he said, like, within 3 months he was gone, and that was crazy how he knew he got sick right after I left, and then like passed away so quickly. And I'm just like, cool, because it's getting the feeling like I probably had something to do with that. Rip, but I didn't. That was God. I need everyone to understand that. Okay, all right, cool. Oh boy. So yeah, that was, it's like God really let me know, like, hey, people that do you wrong, they might have something coming. Hey, like I said, that really didn't have anything to do with me at that point. And because in all these situations, I either left, yeah, I either left, or they weren't in my life anymore. Let's put it like that. Because the choir director, he left the church. So I was still at the church at that point in time, but he wasn't there. So it's not like I was still around him. The bishop passing away, I left the church. I wasn't around him anymore. Like, so, like I said, I'm not doing anything. The, what do you call it? The owner of the Subway was at, I left, wasn't around him. So it's kind of, so when God, like, told me that, told me to leave, and if I don't, that I'm gonna get a portion of karma, I believed him from the track record that I was shown. Okay. Now, once again, I absolutely do not wish death on anybody. I will say though, and I get it, like I said, I might offend some people. You know, it is what it is. Uh, the things I believe now, I'm happy for them. I am. Yes. Because I believe in reincarnation. Boy, do I do. I will definitely make a different video really explaining this a lot further, but I absolutely believe in reincarnation. Um, and understand like the concept of you're not really dead ever. It's like seriously, like when you pass away, it's just like you're going to sleep for a brief moment, but you're in another life. You're in another life. Like you're around. You may not be around in that body, in that form, but you're living life, like physically living a life as a human being again. Probably. Want to make that clear. But yeah, like those people that passed away, they're definitely living life somewhere. They're here. Um, Especially because like, though this is like a very watered down version of it, a lot. But like, because when I was younger, I was thinking like, wow, God be recycling faces, because it's crazy how they look exactly like someone else, or look exactly like someone else did when they were younger. Like, I mean, to a T, but clearly it's not them because they're older, so that wouldn't be them. I was always thinking, like, dang, God just be recycling faces out here. But then when I got and heard more, understood more, realizing more, no, it is them. Because there's a reason why you feel like, wow, when I'm dating somebody, it just feels like I'm dating the same person. There's a reason for that. It's like, it doesn't, they don't need to look alike or anything. Granted, it very well easily could be that too. Um, but it's like they're the same soul and they have the same soul essence. Because there was times when I really felt like I saw a person that looked, I really thought that was that person. Like I saw a person that looked like someone I dated, and I really absolutely thought it was them, but it wasn't. It took me so long to realize that, because he had the exact same soul marker. It's crazy, especially because just getting into a little bit like the guys I dated. Like first, it was interesting because my first boyfriend really seemed like my dad. That was weird. But like had so many similarities. Um, yeah, and then I was involved with a guy for a bit. We'll just leave it at that. And then I was involved with another guy for a bit, and I was thinking, interesting. This guy is very similar to that last guy I was involved with. And it wasn't until my last ex that it really came together, because the guy I was involved with the second involvement, say it like that, he was from St. Louis, and like grew up in a very toxic, dangerous ass environment, saw a lot of his friends die or go to jail, and yeah, he became a very cold-hearted and F the world type of person because of that, like he said. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense, I suppose, you know. Shit, it's like I couldn't really relate to that, but I can understand that concept for sure. And like I said, I'm paraphrasing and keeping it short, I guess, if this is considered short. But yeah, and it was wild to me um, because the next person I dated, I mean, to a T, the same life story from St. Louis, saw a lot, and I'm in Pittsburgh. I'm in Pittsburgh. Sorry, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, um, from St. Louis, in an environment where he saw a lot of his friends die or go to jail. Um, but it was interesting because this time, well, he didn't become cold-hearted because of it and fuck the world. He just laughed about it and was lighthearted about the situation. And I'm like, huh, that's like him, but like a more evolved version. And especially because like the first like the guy I was, involved with before him from St. Louis, he was homeless and he had like a CAD degree, like a drafting designing degree. The next guy I dated was also homeless at some point, like for a period of time, and also had a drafting design degree. It was the point. It just didn't make sense for me to, number one, find another person like that, and for them to have such similar experiences, and for them to feel like each other, like they all felt like different versions, but different evolved versions of of each other, for that matter. And I think the wildest thing is the fact that they all had very strong similarities to my father, which is a thing of itself. They say, like, you attract people like your parents. But yeah, it really let me know about reincarnation, and or the fact of, like, if you are spiritually inclined or religious in any way, really, it's like there's a concept called 144,000, that only 144,000 souls will make it in heaven. So I learned through spirituality, I do not call myself a Christian anymore. I am now spiritual, because there's aspects of Christianity I do not agree with anymore. But yeah, it's like understanding spirituality. It's like it makes me really believe that 144 they're referring to are the total amount of souls in this world. But it's like, but there's, well, of course, I mean, that doesn't really make sense if there's 7 billion people on the planet. But then it made me realize that there is different versions of those souls living life, and sometimes at the same time. Like, and especially understanding the concept that time is not linear. Oh gosh, it's just exciting. It's so exciting. I'm sorry. It's like stuff that didn't make sense started making sense when I learned these concepts. But it's like all time is happening right now. Right now. All time is happening right now. We're just tuned in to 2025, December 1st. 2 a.m. for me. It's like that's just what we're tuned into. But all time is happening now. So it's like sometimes when you hear voices that aren't really there, especially like people having like really seeing ghosts, especially like in a haunted house, they like that is an area where the barriers of time or weak. We'll say it like that. Where it's like those ghosts really could be people living their lives back in like 1845 or something. Like, and I thought that concept was cool as hell, and like that makes a lot of sense. And it's like, if this isn't making any sense at all to you, think of it like this, because it's how I heard and I understood it. Like, you turn on the radio, right? And you're tuned into 105.7 FM. And, and you listen to the music on that station, whatever. All radio stations are playing at the same time. But you're only tuned into that one frequency, that one timeline, if you will. But all the timelines are right now. They're all playing out right now, but you're just tuned into that one, just like that radio station. They're all available. They're all available for you to tap into, listen to, peek into. But you're only on that one radio station. So because you're only on that radio station, you're not going to hear, the AM broadcast news. You have to, like, just by being tuned into the one radio station you're on, you have to change your frequency to match the frequency you want to be a part of. And that's life right now. Oh my gosh. Because it's so true. Like the aspect of everything that was created or ever will be created is all right here, right now. The only thing is we're not aware of how to do it. Oh my gosh. Like, seriously, like this cell phone, the ability to make this cell phone was always available. Back in the 1700s, 1400s, it was always available. They just didn't know how to do it yet. Like, and that's just so true. Like, everything is available to us right now. And like, it's just so much more out there versus like how Christianity is like, no, it's like when you're dead, that's it. Just heaven or hell for the rest of eternity. No, that's just not true exactly the way they put it. Now, is there consequences? Yes. But not like that. Not because you can always come back and rectify it. We'll say it like that. Not saying you won't suffer or go through some shit because you did some shit. But it's not, eternal damnation like they make it seem, or just eternal, oh praise God, in some room somewhere, like that's heaven. Like, no, like that didn't appeal to me when I heard it when I was younger, like saying like, oh yeah, this is all we're gonna be doing in heaven. The fuck is that? Like, that sounds dumb and awful. Like, okay. But yeah, seriously, it's like it was just interesting to me, like, when I really thought about Christianity like that, it made me question, like, why do I even believe it? Oh, because someone told me? But it's like realizing to think for myself and really question that. Or even like the pastors or people, and like most people in the church, or even in the church to begin with, because, oh, their grandpappy or some person, but it's like, but at the same time, the church is very important for certain individuals. It is important for certain individuals to learn certain concepts. But there's a subsection of people who outgrow those concepts, and it's time for them to ascend and ascend past that, and that's where I'm at right now. Um, but but yeah, the church is very important for a lot of people, and I won't deny that. And it is helpful, and God is helpful in the way it's presented. It's like until your consciousness and understanding shifts and like elevates, that base is very good for some people, for sure. All that to kind of say, death is completely an illusion, and that takes a lot to understand, I suppose, because we're taught to fear death, and that death is something to be feared. But it's funny because I think people who really wanted to skedaddle out this life and just wanted to be off understand that concept a bit more. Oh, ouch. Because why else would we, like, say, like, if it was something so bad, why would we want to skedaddle, you know? But then there is a subset of people who are definitely afraid of death. And understandably so, because there are some consequences waiting on the other side, like on their next life. You have to pay for things in life. Yeah, because just like it says, in scripture, like, you reap what you sow, or as you sow, so shall you reap. And that is explaining also karma. Yeah, and it's so true. It's just difficult to see, because it's like, without the concepts of past lives and reincarnation, it doesn't make sense why you see bad people or people who do bad things, like, just blessing after blessing after blessing comes to them, or like when the rewards and like living the life. Or you see a person like is working hard, is honest, just, and yet they're getting just bad news after bad news after bad news, just devastations, and like nothing to show for it in their lives. And like, that concept didn't make sense to me until I learned about past lives and reincarnation. And it's because, yeah, that person that's doing bad things is getting blessed and blessings after blessings, because you don't know who they were or what they did in their past lives to be reaping these rewards that it appears they shouldn't be reaping in this one. Or that person that they see is like so good, so kind, so thoughtful. It's like, you don't know what they were, how they were, what they did in their past lives to be reaping those rewards. And it's like, once I understood that, that's when it all clicked and made sense. It's like, oh, okay, all right, that makes some sense. And I'm just gonna be very candid in here. So this is like my life story, and piecing things together from my life experiences. But I have